Okay, so here we are with a port brand that you don't see much outside of stores like Total Wine. Offley. In this case, they're Tawney and they're 2001 Colheita. As you can see, I've been at the Colheita. Good day, everyone. This is Anthony, the Eclectic Chef, and welcome back to my wine lab. Today, we're going to try a taste of these two and just see how they rate on the Eclectic Chef's palate. Okay, so here we go with our taste test. Not traditional port glasses by a long stretch, but I have come to conclude that using these aerating tumblers really does help in capturing the nose and the flavour of wines, sakes even. Narrow at the top. I'm quite happy with these, so let's get on with our taste test. Let's start with a taste of the straight Tawney. Not aged, by the way, remember, this is just a straight Tawney. And it is pretty tawny when you look at the colour of it. Doesn't have much nose, by the way. Very light taste for a port. I think what I would describe as an all-day port or an all-day Tawney. Nice fruity, fresh finish, but there's not a lot of body or overwhelming flavours there. Let's try the Colheita next. Okay, the Colheita here. 23 years old now, and you can see it in the colour. Much lighter and browner, like its Tawny forebear, if you will. Offspring, I suppose, if you look at the difference in the age. It's light. You can tell it looking at the wine itself, it's lighter. Has a pleasant nose, almost a citrusy aftertaste. Again, a very pleasant drinker. Not, again, especially full of flavour or assaulting you, but it's just a very light flavour. If that's what you like in a port, then you'll like this. If you're used to fuller flavours, such as perhaps Graham's or some of the other brands, then you'd be disappointed with this. Something to consider if you want a light drinking port. This might be something you'd look at, but otherwise you'd probably be better off somewhere else. Here's a small part of the label from the Offley Tawney, and you can see it's a Sogrape company, Portugal's largest wine company. I'm showing you that for a reason, by the way. The verbiage says that this is a pioneering, bad for old eyes, pioneering contemporary port with almost 3 centuries of heritage. Talks about how it was founded by Joseph J. Forrester, who ended up with a nice title of Baron as a result of all his port work. But, okay, let's talk about why Sogrape might be important here. So, speaking of Sogrape, if you looked at our review of Trader Joe's Porto Margado Tawney port, you'll know that it's produced by Sogrape, actually bottled by Sogrape, says right here. Now, so Sogrape versus Sogrape. Now, this may be an egregiously unfair test because the Offley is a straight Tawney and the Trader Joe's port that I have is a 10-year Tawney, but it's worth having a taste just to see. Okay, so the Trader Joe's Tawney, 10-year-old, in fairness, has a much fruitier nose than either of the two Offley ports that we've tasted today, both the Straight Tawney and the Colheita, 23 years old. It's also much fuller bodied, a little sweeter, frankly, more jammy than the other two, but I gotta say, I prefer it. And we'll talk about relative pricing in a minute, but I would buy Trader Joe's Porto Morgado, either the 10-year or the Straight Tawney, before I would buy either of the two Offley ports we've tasted today. And there's a significant price difference too. Okay, so let's round up on our review of these two Offley ports. Look, on the label of the Straight Tawney, Offley tells us this is a contemporary brand of port. And it may be it's made for younger palates. It's certainly lighter. As I said, an all-day port. It wasn't bad, it just was not what I've come to expect in Tawney ports or Colheitas. So, it did not compete well against the Trader Joe's Tawney port. Certainly didn't even come close to the 10-year Tawney, and I honestly doubt if it would beat just the regular Trader Joe's Tawney port. Both of which are from Sogrape, remember. So this is not a competition, one major brand against another. Now here's the thing. The Offley Tawney port was $20. The Colheita was 50-ish. Trader Joe's 10-year Tawney is $12, and their regular old Tawney port is $7. So there's a huge price difference, and honestly, the Offley ports we tested do not stack up well against the Trader Joe's offerings.